do we contextualize the star in Jesus' birth narrative? Well, we already referred to this guy from this non-Israelite Balaam, in Numbers 24. So if you guys remember the story, here's a guy who is hired, basically paid by the king of Moab to go curse the Israelites. So the Israelites with Moses coming into the land of Canaan, they're in the region, and the king of Moab sees them. And so he says, okay, I want you, Balaam, to use your skill at cursing and prophesying of bad things to these people. Go and do your thing. So then he gets on his donkey. He's going to where he's going to curse them, and the donkey starts talking and giving him fits. And we all know that story. But in Numbers 24, we read that when Balaam finally speaks about Israel, he doesn't curse them, but he praises them and blesses them. And there's a little prophecy in there in Numbers 24, verse 2, that says, "A star shall come out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel. Who shall rule?" That little prophecy about a star coming out of Jacob, who shall rule all of Israel, is obscure, and later Jewish authors at the time of Jesus tell us that this is a little bit of, they know about this prophecy, and it's a little bit ambiguous. So Philo, for example, refers to Balaam as one who came from Mesopotamia, from the east, as a magus, a magi. And so what we have is at least two first-century authors, the author of Matthew and Philo, who are linking the Messiah star passage in Numbers with magi from the east. We also have Josephus. During the 60s, in the Jewish-Roman War, Josephus tells about a false prophet during this war who claimed that the Jews would receive a miraculous sign of deliverance. He uses those terms, deliverance. He says when this false prophet shows up and says, "I'm going to deliver Israel," he says that people believed that a star stood over Jerusalem, stood over the city of Jerusalem. And there was a lot of chatter and a lot of rumors that there's this false prophet who just said that now there's a star. We don't know what that star was, but they believed it. Josephus says, what more than all else incited these Jews to the war was an ambiguous prophecy. He's probably referring to Numbers 24. There's this ambiguous prophecy, likewise found in their sacred scriptures, to the effect that at that time, in the Messianic age, one from their country would become the ruler of the world. This they understood to mean someone of their own race, and many of their wise men went astray in their interpretation of it. Josephus, there's a few things going on here. Number one, Josephus confirmed the belief among many Jews in the traditions of stars signaling deliverance by a Messiah who would govern the whole earth. But also, Josephus shows that this prophecy is not well understood. It's a vague, ambiguous prophecy, and he was upset to see that so many people were led astray, and they became zealous, and they got killed by Rome because of it. And he was really upset years later when he was writing about this. So is there a star in Luke? There's no star. Or is there? Some people believe that the star is an angel or the Messiah himself. The Damascus document in the Dead Sea Scrolls, this is a document that within it talks about the Numbers 24 prophecy of Balaam, saying that a star will come out of Jacob. But in that document, the writers of the Dead Sea Scrolls interpret the star in Numbers 24 as being a messianic figure, a person who is called the interpreter of the law. Also in the Testament of Levi. This is a 2nd century BCE text. This predates Jesus. It says that the star of Balaam's prophecy will be an angelic figure like a king who will shine forth like the sun, and there shall be peace in all the earth. When this angel appears, the heavens will be opened, and the earth shall be glad, the clouds will be filled with joy, and the angels of glory of the Lord's presence will be made glad by him. Now notice the similarities with Luke 2. Then the angel of the Lord stood before them, and the glory of the Lord shone around about them. As I've highlighted here on the screen, all the words in yellow that are similar to the Testament of Levi. They brought good news of great joy. There will be a sign for you. There was an angel with a multitude of heavenly hosts, like in the Testament of Levi, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest heaven, and on earth peace among those whom he favors." In the Testament of Levi, there's a king who will shine forth like the sun. Here's another idea that the star is an actual person. And so there are some traditions that the star in Balaam's prophecy is an actual figure, and the later rabbis or people at Qumran, the Dead Sea, they link this prophecy with an actual person, with the Messiah.